He simply just laid out there, you know what? I'm really tempted to scarf that stuff down. And so, can you help me out with this? How can we create these safe communities that accept that kind of tender humility?
Yeah. Well, humility creates safety. And that's the bottom line is, and there's a chapter in this book where I'm writing about who are you actually praying to when you pray? Like who's on the other side of your prayers? Who's engaging with your prayers? How and why does this deity that you've imagined that's on the other side of your prayers, how and why are they engaging with your prayers? And what you described a son who has matured to this place of awareness and trust and honesty. You as his mother, were you like, how dare you desire to eat those treats? You're like, I can't believe you would say no. He brought to you like, hey, this is the pain, like this is the desire, this is the dissonance that I'm feeling. Like I want to eat these crackers, but I also know it's not good for me to eat these crackers, and I'm bringing this to you, right, as my mom, because you can do something about that, and obviously he trusts you with that information. That's what prayer is about. I mean, just think about the Lord's Prayer, which, just a side note, the Lord's Prayer is more about how to pray rather than what to pray. Yes, don't get me wrong. The words are very important. I love the words. I pray the words. But Jesus was reluctant to give us anything that might feel like a formula because we have a tendency to abuse formulas and misuse them for our own purposes.
Well, by far be it for us to put it into a little 1, 2, 3, wrap that up. It's perfect formula.
There we go.
That's what we want.
Yes. And that offers a semblance of control. And we're control freaks. We just are.
Right.
We don't want to trust. We don't want faith and hope to do their work. We want to be the God. We want to be the masters of our fate, the captains of our soul. We want all of that. And it's because we were created godlike. We were created to rule. There are elements of that when they are redeemed, reflect God's nature and God's goodness and what he's preparing for us. So I'm not making that sound all bad, but when it's not surrendered, it comes out sideways. It just does. But we look at the Lord's Prayer. What's the first movement of the Lord's Prayer? Our Father. It's a movement of tenderness. Before we confess sin, before we say anything else, we're confessing that he is our tender Father, and his name is hallowed, which simply means his name is above anything that we're about ready to bring into prayer. Like these things that feel really big, whatever they may be, they're not bigger than his name. His name is the name above every name. His name is the final word. And when I look at Jesus, what I see in Jesus and what we see in Jesus in scriptures, we see the personification or the incarnation, the embodiment of what is most true about God and what is promised for us. Like this is the person of, like, this is why we in Hebrews 2, where we read language about like he's not ashamed to call them brothers and sisters. Like this is the journey that we're taken into. This is what it's all about. And it is a journey through pain. It's a journey through awareness. It's a journey through depths and depths of surrender. I think of what James writes in James 1:24. He says, receive with meekness, receive with humility, the implanted logos, the implanted word, which has the power to save your vitality, to save your soul. Like this is something that we get to journey into for the rest of our lives. And prayer is that place of safety where we learn those things. And I want to say this because we're talking a lot about prayer. I want to make sure people, when they hear me say prayer, I'm not talking about just those times when you're in a prayerful position.
Right.
Like we're talking about prayer as a way of life. We're talking about God having words with us and for us constantly. Like Paul's not blowing smoke when he says pray without ceasing. What he's saying God wants to be connected with you. He wants to speak to you. He wants to be involved with your day. And that's an incredible gift. And it's sad to me that so many of us, because of our transactional view of prayer, and I know I've experienced this in my life, we miss out on that gift and that invitation.